Private credit has hit the headlines recently. A number of funds have seen a rush of clients trying to redeem their investments. One company, Blue Owl, has had to shut down one of its funds entirely. This is an asset class that's seen explosive growth, and which, as a consequence, is often touted as the source of the next financial crisis. So what's actually going on, and how worried should you be? If we start first then with what private credit actually is. Mike, you're our Wall Street editor. Explain it to us.
I think the broadest version of this is it's loans lent by firms that aren't banks, alternative asset managers often, and lending that's not done in the bond market. So anything that comes between those two things is fair game as the broadest definition of private credit. It's typically bought by a third group. So it'll be bought by insurance companies, pension funds down the line. So the private markets firms are originating this debt. What you had late last year was a private credit fund issued by a company called Blue Owl. It's a big alternative asset management company. It's grown from about $50 billion under assets under management in 2021 to more like $300 billion today. So it's really, really aggressively expanded. It's a big player in private credit. This vehicle was seeing more redemptions than the fund wanted to satisfy. And it said, okay, no more redemptions. And earlier this year, assets from 3 funds at Blue Owl were sold. So they said, we're selling $1.4 billion worth of assets. We're going to redeem these investors. They're just going to be redeemed in chunks as we see fit. And they closed the fund down. This has sort of accelerated the feeling of panic. Even though these assets were sold for effectively face value, it's just crystallizing a moment of concern about what's really going on.
How does the size of the problem compare to the subprime meltdown and, say, the Lehman story?
2 key points to me. One is that these assets aren't perceived as safe, and they never have been. Everyone knows they're risky. Now, maybe they're riskier than people thought they were, but actually when it comes to the most severe financial crises, in my view, it's the assets people think are safe that are the problem, not the assets people think are risky. Nobody thinks that about private credit, right? And so the leverage ratios involved are nowhere near where they were. The other side of that is that you won't see this all come in one blow up. The opacity of it, the slow burning nature of it means it may crop up for quite some time. So it may be that we're years down the line and you realize some of these insurance products are maybe not as well backed as you would have liked them to be. You can see the economic impact, I think, trickle out for quite a bit further. It won't be a one moment explosion like the collapse of Lehman